what we're going to see out here or for how long, but we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Porque muchos bumps.
If you look on your right side, look straight up to the top of the hill. One of my all-time favorite animals just tucked up behind the trees. There's the okapi.
Where?
The okapi is the closest living relative of the giraffe,
There he is.
not the zebra, despite the stripes on its legs. It's a pretty shy and reclusive animal. Okapi were not first officially documented by explorers out in the Congo until the year 1901. And unlike its cousin giraffe, okapi are pretty solitary animals. This means we're not going to see them living in big herds. They're going to be spending a lot more of their time alone. Sometimes we're lucky enough to find a black rhino out in these parts, but unfortunately that is becoming quite the rare sight. There's fewer than 5,000 black rhinos left in the whole world. They're still hunted for their horn. 5 different species of rhino are in the world, but all 5 are endangered or threatened because of poaching. Oh wow, it looks like we might be in luck today though. Look straight ahead here up to the left side. I see a black rhino just grazing out near this red clay wall. Now the horn of a rhino isn't like any horn of any other animal on earth because it's not made of bone, but of a protein called keratin. Some people believe that keratin has a medicinal purpose, but can you tell me what people have made of keratin? Hair and fingernails. But I know that you've never been to the doctor or been told about your nails if you weren't feeling good. That is because keratin has zero medicinal purpose. Scientists have proven that. On your right side, through the brush, you'll be able to see bongos. Bongos are known as the ghosts of the forest. They have this beautiful deep orange coloration, and as adults, they'll have big backwards-facing horns, which also clear amongst this thicker jungle brush should be relatively undetected, hence their nickname, the ghost. On your left side here, look through the trees, you'll see some greater kudu. Greater kudu are the second tallest antelope in Africa, at about 5 feet tall at the shoulder. We're going to head on out now towards the Safi River. Safi River has been known to be a pretty good place to try and find the one, the only, the Nile hippopotamus. The word hippopotamus comes from the Greek meaning river horse, but the most recent research shows us that hippos are related to whales. Hippos are also nocturnal, which means they do a lot of what during the day? A lot of sleeping, right? So the majority of the day, hippos are pretty quiet. They're not their most active until after the sun sets, and that's when they get out of the water to graze. Hippos are herbivores. They eat about 80 to 90 pounds of vegetation every single night. Hippos are not the best swimmers we find in the rivers of Africa, but they can hold their breath for about 8 minutes underwater before coming up for air. We're going to keep moving upriver here, see if we find any hippos surfacing for a breath. They really don't do much swimming at all. They just kind of sink down to the bottom of the river, and then they can push themselves up to the top of the water to take a breath. On your left side here, you can see a hippo that's just breaking the water here on our left side. I also see another hippo upriver here, so we're going to try and get a better look at them. We also have pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans are going to get their name because during breeding season, the skin turns a pale pink. Pelicans are not in breeding season right now, so you still see the grayish and tan color. So there's a hippo on your left side here. Believe it or not, hippos are one of the most feared animals in Africa, very territorial and very aggressive. An adult male hippo weighs in at over 5,500 pounds, but can still clear up to 20 miles an hour on land. They also grow big tusks in their mouths. They use to defend themselves and their territory. Look to your left side, there's a hippo on the riverbank. Sit down, stay seated. Hippos are herbivores. They don't want to eat you, but they really don't want you touching their stuff. There's another feared animal of Africa, the Nile crocodile. Nile crocodiles are an apex predator. They're at the top of the food chain. They have a bone-crushing bite of 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. And at about 16 feet long, full-grown, a Nile crocodile is nearly as long as a giraffe is tall. But we've made it to the river okay today, so let's go out to the savannah. The savannah is a very different ecosystem with some very different animals, so let's go see what we can find. Up on the right, I can see a baobab tree. Baobab trees are also known as the upside-down tree. It kind of looks like its roots are on the top because the baobab tree remains leafless for up to 9 months out of the year to help it retain water. By not having leaves on its branches, the tree is not losing as much water. Instead, it's able to store more than its roots and in its trunk. And that's how the tree swells up like it does. During the dry season, a baobab tree can become its own source of water. The savannah continues to be be one of the most famous, one of the most recognizable ecosystems in all of the world. Animals like lions, giraffes, elephants, zebras, all call the savannah home. But unfortunately, this is also one of the ecosystems that has been hit hardest by the effects that humans are having on the environment. Take a look to your left side. It's a spotted hyena. Hyenas are a matriarchal animal, which means hyenas are led by a strong and wise female. The proper name for a group of hyenas is a clan. And when it comes to hyenas, a clan is so matriarchal that even the lowest ranked female hyena, she will still rank above the highest ranked male in terms of importance within her group. Also grazing along this left side here is some white bearded wildebeest. Wildebeest are responsible for the largest animal migrations in all the world. Over 2 million wildebeest migrate every year across Africa in search of fresh food and water. If you look closely, you can see the word wildebeest comes from the Afrikaans word for wild beast, because these animals are known for their long, drawn faces, curly horns, shaggy beards. It's also to give them a pretty, menacing appearance. You may have even heard wildebeest referred to as gnu before. That is G-N-U for a vocalization that they make. It's like a noop, noop. I know that's not nearly as cute, but I do it.
Gorillas out here.
That's the big orange dirt mounds around us. It was brought to you by the letter T for termites. These are termite mounds. Made of lots of fun things like dung and saliva and mud. They bake in the hot African sun, become hard as concrete, and then animals like giraffes and elephants use them for extra large back scratchers. Also extremely porous. This allows air to move through the termite mounds and get to the termites. Here on the reserve, we're able to protect the trees and the tall grasses and the watering holes, but out in the wild, the places the animals depend on for food, water, shelter, it's all disappearing, and unfortunately the animals are disappearing along with it. That's why it's so important now more than ever to make sure you're recycling your paper, plastic, aluminum cans, trying to buy products made of recycled materials, and reusing things you already have at home. If I'm the only one doing this, it really won't make much of a difference, but if we can all try and make that extra effort, it does go a long way in protecting the wild Africa that still exists. Coming up on our right side, you see some smaller, more cinnamon-colored animals with their springbok. The animals with big white horns are Ankole cattle. Ankole cattle are also known as Watusi cattle from the Watusi tribe in Africa that first domesticated them. Only domesticated the animal on this reserve. Their horns are going to be about 4 feet long on each side, and they're nearly completely hollow in the middle, except for a series of blood vessels that run through them because the Ankole cattle circulate their blood externally to keep themselves cool. Here's a great look at the springbok to our left and to our right. Springbok are one of the most athletic animals in Africa. They can jump about 12 feet into the air. It's a motion called franking. They'll do these big leaps in the air to frighten away predators. They're also very quick. They've been clocked at about 50 miles an hour.